honest. The accessibility says start with simple,
Yep.
start with honest. Where are you? Locate
Yes.
how you're feeling
Yep.
and validate that to God. I'm pissed.
Yes.
I'm disappointed.
I'm hurt. My heart is broken.
Bring that in simple honesty. And then the hope of it is the focus shifts. And this is one of those pernicious things of our culture is we live in a hyper individualized culture, a me-centered reality. So the problem is even our Christianity, the water we swim in, it begins with a me-centered view of reality. That's not the gospel. That's not true. I am not the center of my story. And that's really good news. And so this orientation shifts helps me with this steady entering into a place of I am one who is being led. God, you are author. God, you have this under control. God, you know me more than I know myself. You know me more than any other person knows me, and you love me more than any other person loves me. And I need you to act. I put myself in proximate to you and your story. I'm yielding something to you. And so what's so beautiful about this teaching is nothing's changed in the circumstances.
Exactly.
But steadily, by God's power, that you are accessing, the door is now closing to this relentless evil. And now what you have is actually manageable. This is the work of your maturing in oneness with God as a disciple. And again in scriptures, like it demonstrates this is available. You can do this.
Yes.
Right? This is possible.
Yeah, it is. It is possible. And Christ is deeply committed to your wholeheartedness, deeply committed to it. You can trust that. You also have to understand that you live in the midst of the London bombings.
Right.
That is the nature of the world right now.
Yes.
Both are true.
Yes.
Yes.
Both are true. And, I began with understanding at the top of the podcast, like, I even yield my need for understanding. I think it's understanding that I need. It's not.
Yeah.
I need God.
God.
I need union with God, oneness, a shared life, a shared nature, a shared being with God, which then heals what it's like to live in the London bombings. Like it does heal that.
John, one thing to add, I think it's so important for our Wild Heart listeners in this space. We're a story culture, and the human soul is meant, we were born into story, we interpret by story. We are constantly reaching for a story to interpret reality, and I would add to feel well, right?
Yes.
The challenge is when we pin our well-being on a story that we must locate to make us feel well. That's very dangerous because, as you've said before, experience often does not furnish its own interpretation.
Right.
I think it's really important for our souls to remember God will in time give us the story. He's revealing in the larger story, and we're in Act 3, but we are not guaranteed an interpretation of our circumstances in the immediacy of it as a conduit of our peace. And that's why, as you're saying that, my heart's reaction is like, yes, because to be rooted in God is the safest place, even when we don't have the story from outside of us to make us well.
Yes.
And I think